The winds and waves obey Jesus. Good morning, children. I'm back with you to share the extraordinary power Jesus had when he lived on the earth. The last miracle we saw was Elisha making the heavy axe head float. His student was chopping wood, and suddenly the axe head fell into the river. Elisha asks him to throw a piece of wood into the river, and immediately the axe head floats on the stick, and the young lad picks it up. Today we are going to see a miracle that Jesus does where he takes command of the nature. The wind and the waves obey Jesus' words. Children, do you know who Jesus is? Jesus is in fact God himself. We saw earlier how he multiplied a small amount of food so that more than 5,000 men, women, and children could eat their fill, and there was lots of food left over too. Okay, now let's see how he controls the nature, the weather, the stormy weather. Children, would you be happy to sail on the waters if there is a storm? Think about it. I'm very certain that I would not. Let's see what happens with Jesus and his disciples while they are in a boat on the sea. One evening, after a very busy day, when Jesus finished speaking to large crowds of people, he said to his disciples, "Let's go over to the other side of the Sea of Galilee." Leaving the crowd behind, they set sail. While they were halfway, a furious storm rose up from the sea, and the waves started rising high and dashing against the boat. The boat started filling up with water. The disciples tried to empty the boat of water, but the waves got bigger and bigger, and water kept filling more and more. Children, what will happen if water gets into the boat? That's right, the boat will go under the water and all the people in it will drown. But who is in the boat other than the disciples? That's right, Jesus. But what is he doing? Is he also trying to empty the boat of water? No. Jesus was sleeping on a cushion in the stern of the boat, enjoying his nap. Jesus was tired after the day's work, and he slept soundly. Children, do you think the storm disturbed Jesus? No. Neither the roaring noise of the storm nor the powerful waves rocking the boat woke him up. He was thoroughly enjoying his nap. Do you think the disciples could stop the storm? No. What would happen if the storm continues? You're right, children. They would all drown in the sea and die. Do you think their boat was storm safe, like the huge ships on the oceans? No, it was a simple fisherman's boat. So let's see what happens next. The disciples thought they will all die, including Jesus. They woke Jesus up and said to him, "Teacher, teacher, we are drowning. Are you not afraid about it? You're sleeping soundly." Jesus got up, spoke aloud to the wind, and said to the waves, "Quiet, be still." What did Jesus say to the storm? "Shush." Then the wind died down and it was completely calm. The disciples were stunned. They had seen nothing like this before. They had seen Jesus heal the sick, open the eyes of the blind, and do many other miracles. But this was altogether different. Jesus spoke 3 words, and the winds and the waters recognized his voice and calmed down at his command. Could this be true? The disciples thought. Then Jesus speaks to his disciples. "Why are you so afraid? I am in the boat with you. You have seen me do so many supernatural things. Do you still have no faith in me?" They asked each other, "Wow, who is this? Even the wind and the waves obey him." It looks like the disciples forgot who Jesus is. They saw Jesus feeding more than 5,000 people with just 5 pieces of bread and 2 fish, and many more miracles. But here's a different situation, a storm. Did Jesus die in the storm, children? No, he didn't. He's the one who created all things in heaven and on earth, and also us human beings. That's our Jesus, children. He loves us, cares for us, and knows our every fear. Jesus is not sleeping, nor is he dead. Just call on him, and he will answer you. Question time. Are you ready, children? What do you like best in the story? Yes, Jesus happily sleeping, while the disciples worried and worried. Who is Jesus? Jesus is God, full of love, joy, and peace. What does Jesus do first when his disciples wake him up? Good answer, children. Jesus stops the storm by hushing the winds and waves. "Quiet! Be still!" Immediately the storm dies down, waves calm down, and wind stops blowing and howling. What does Jesus tell his friends, the disciples? Jesus tells his friends, "Why don't you trust me? I'm always with you." Children, what do you learn from this story? Jesus is always with you. He is especially with you when you go through a storm. Trust him. He listens to you. He understands your every fear. He loves you and gives you love, joy, and peace. Children, Jesus is always with you, but we should keep in touch with Jesus. Pray. Talk to him every day. Remember to tell Jesus every day, "You are my Father in heaven, and I am your child. I know you love me, and you are always with me. I'm sorry for not trusting you. Jesus, take away my fears. Bless me, my family, and my country. I love you. Thank you for hearing my prayer. Amen." Memory verse, Psalm 121, verses 2 and 3. My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. He will not let my foot slip. He who watches over me will not slumber nor sleep. Hope you enjoyed listening to this story, children. Remember to speak to Jesus when you're worried or scared. He will keep you safe. Bye. Have a nice day.